Hey friends, today I wanted to talk to you about what I'm working on this month and for the foreseeable future. And apparently the sun just chose to come out in this kind of gloomy January day, which is great, except now it's creating this weird lighting stitch. So sorry, can't really fix it. Anyway, um, I got this idea from my brand crush, Thrifty Day, and she got it from somebody else, and I loved it. I am ADHD and I find it really hard but very useful to keep a planner. And if you're ADHD as well, you've probably gone through 100,000 different kinds of planners and made a bunch of different planners for yourself over the years to try and keep track of dates and times and all that stuff. And I've done pretty well in the last year, well, for the last 6 months, we'll say, writing things down, but I wanted to be able to have a planner that also allowed me to be creative on a daily basis, or actually kind of forced me to be creative on a daily basis. So this is what we're calling a junk planner. And so each day well, you'll see it in a second, but this is just for January. I know that when Leah from Thrifty Day does hers, she's been doing 2 or 3 months at a time in one book, but because I just wanted to see if the system worked, I wanted to just do one for January, and then I will go forward and do another one for February and for March if I like it. And so far, I really do. So let's take a peek. So I've made this entirely myself. The paper is, I believe, Echo Park. And I've had it for years. And so I've decided that's one of my goals for 2025 is to really start using the papers and packs because this had paper and stickers and all that stuff. I really wanted to start using that stuff up because hoarding it is not helping anybody and it's just taking up space. So this is the one I picked because it's crafty related and that's me. So there we go. Made the cover out of the paper and some chipboard, covered it, and then on both sides, you can see this side, covered it on both sides and then sent it through a laminator to make it a little bit more durable because the paper I was afraid would just get dirty. I've also used my cinch to bind it. This whole thing, ignore. It was a mess. I messed it up a couple of times and I made a promise to myself that because this is kind of a practice month, I wasn't going to redo every time I made a mistake or did something I didn't like. So we're rolling with it, friends. This is the year I'm letting go as much as I can. So here we go. Like I said, I went ahead and covered with paper, some chipboard, and then I added the I made this, sorry, I stamped the January 2025 and glued it on, and then went ahead and laminated. And this is just the inside. What I like about having the lamination on the inside is that it's a great place to put sticky notes that'll actually stay, because sometimes they don't stay on paper. So we used to call this a dashboard. I can't remember who came up with that. It's been a number of years now, so a dashboard is where you can kind of go to every day to check out what you need to be doing. So this will be where I put sticky notes and to-do lists and all that kind of thing. This is an actual to-do list, and this I just made a little pocket. So I use some, this is a piece of cardstock from Stampin' Up. I love Stampin' Up cardstock. It's some of the best out there. I added a piece of music paper that I tore around the edges, and then I just used a leftover piece from this paper to make the pocket, and I glued it on 3 sides. You could make this bigger or more flexible by not gluing one of the sides. Still glue the bottom. But if you leave one of the sides open, then you'll have a little bit more play. But I knew this was only going to be a place for like lists and stuff, ongoing lists for the month or what have you. And then I messed up the punching. So I ended up having to cover up the punches with some washi tape on both sides so I could repunch it. Again, we're rolling with it. It is what it is. So the next page is my planner. And I literally took this out of my existing planner. These were pages that I'd already been writing on for the month. I'm so sorry about that glare. There's unfortunately not a whole lot I can do about it. And we're so happy for the sun because we don't see it very often in winter in Wisconsin. So I just took the 2 calendar pages out, trimmed them down so that they would fit. Again, this is the same Stampin' Up cardstock. Added some stickers and some border and whatever. Used my label printer to make the label for the month. And I've written various, obviously, appointments and such down here. And this, what I figured out after using a planner that had both this and then the day by day boxes is that this is what works best for me in terms of keeping track of appointments. I need to see a month at a time. I don't end up using the boxes that are the daily things because they're small and I've never really known what to use them for. Now I have a purpose for my daily pages, which I think is empowering. The first page after that is a goal for the month, goals for the month, line paper. And what you're going to see is this is how I go back and forth now. There's always a line paper, piece of paper, and we'll call it patterned paper of some kind, but sometimes it's patterned paper and sometimes it's book paper or whatever. Again, this is the back of that cardstock piece. So I just glued a piece of pattern paper on there. It's not actually book paper, even though it looks like book paper. It is just pattern paper. And what I will do is as I accomplish my goals, I'm going to take pictures of those goals in progress so that I have a way to reflect on them and see how I did. And again, these are just goals for January. They're not even all my goals. This is just kind of businessy goals right now. I will get into my other stuff as I go on. I was trying not to overwhelm myself with too many things. So here's day one. This is January 1st. I went in and wrote my entry. Having been a former, I am a former writer, I knew I needed space. I probably could have written more if I wanted to, but that's okay. And then what I did was I just kind of junk journaled a little bit. I bought myself this Instastacks printer for going on a trip that I'm going on, and specifically for the purpose of adding images into this journal. And so I just cut the front off the box and I journaled a little bit about it on the back and added it with some washi. Took the sticker out of the sticker pack that came with the paper because I really liked it. And what's great is that I don't feel like I have to fill the page every time. I can just add things as I want to when I get the printer came, but I'm waiting on the film. It comes tomorrow. So I will take some pictures then and add them, pictures that are relevant to my journal entry, obviously, and add them. And this is just January 1st. So January 2nd, here's the pattern paper. Here's my writing space. What I will do is journal about yesterday and then add ephemera and whatever else I want to add over here. And this is day 2. And this is day 3. Here I did use book paper. Understand that a lot of times all of this is going to be covered up with other stuff. So I didn't really care what was showing, as long as it was pretty, you know. This isn't particularly pretty, but I can add lots of color to it myself by doodling or what have you. So I'm just going to go through. So like I said, every day has lined paper and then some kind of pattern paper so that I can journal, but also junk journal about each day. And this I'm really excited about because now I have something that makes sense to me. And it gives me a purpose for junk journaling every day. Even if I can't think of anything, I can at least put down, you know, here's what I did today. Here's some mail that I got or whatever. So as we go forward, go to the end so you can see what I've done there. I've gone ahead and tiny little numbers so I know what day of the month all this is. So that's 6, 30, that's 31. Okay, so after 31, what I've done is I've left myself a page to write a reflection for the month. And again, add any pictures or what have you that I want to add from the month. And then I left myself some space to do more of that if I choose to. I have an expense report here. Every time I buy something this month, I'm going to keep track of it. I can also put pictures of the stuff if I want to. And then I'm also going to keep track of my sales. I sell in a variety of places and I want to keep track of that from now on so that I know what I have as far as income instead of just getting random checks and depositing them. I want to be better about keeping track of what is selling and where it's selling. And so I've left myself a couple of pages there. And again, a place for pictures or whatever of things that have sold. I then copied the front. This is the back cover. I did exactly what I did with the front cover on the back cover. And being troublesome because of the binding. And the back looks just like the front, except it doesn't have the January across. So I'm really excited about this. I think it'll get me in the habit of journaling every day, or at least every other day. I didn't have a chance to do it yesterday. I was really, really tired after driving around all day. So I'm going to do it today, and I'll do today's as well. Stay tuned, because if this planner works for me this month, I'm going to be really excited to make more going forward. And of course, I'll share all that with you guys.